Welcome to a Thursday edition of the Gold and Blue Lunch Report. I'm Allan Taylor, having my lunch at the Marriott Marquis in Times Square, where the IMG Intercollegiate Athletics Forum brings together a consortium of ADs, conference commissioners, and there was even a fine bomb, just so you know it's legit. No discussion of Big 12 sports can take place without Bob Bowlsby entertaining questions about whether the league is staying at 10 members or expanding to keep up with the Joneses. Bowlsby keeping an open mind about the league's next move.
I just think we need to continue to watch the landscape. I mean, we're a little smaller. We don't have a championship game. We do play a round robin. You've got to keep asking yourself if you want to be different in 3 or 4 significant ways, and there may come a time when we don't.
While Bowlsby speaks in the calmest of measured tones, his peers, Jim Delaney at the Big Ten, Larry Scott of the Pac-12, contend that the Big 12 needs to split into divisions and play a conference championship game. Bowlsby, he appreciates his football neighbors sharing their advice, so he returns some of his own.
They'd like to see us play a championship. I'd like to see them play a full round robin.
Oh snap, Bob. That's the Bowlsby equivalent of going Trump on somebody. In other Bowlsby bits, he calls the current tsunami of bowl games, quote, crazy, and he wants to study whether 7-5 should be the cutoff, not 6-6. I like that one. Pass it. Bowlsby also says that the Big 12 doesn't add a championship game, it should look at scheduling all 10 teams to play on championship weekend for relevancy's sake. You'll recall last week that only 4 teams played while the other 6 were out recruiting. Bowlsby also struck up a conversation about making basketball a spring semester only sport. Except for a couple of match-made games, Bowlsby said college basketball is, quote, largely insignificant in November and December. That's why the SEC and the Big 12 moved their challenge games to the third weekend in January. The news that really wasn't news Wednesday night involved West Virginia AD Shane Lyons announcing that Dana Holgorsen would return in 2016. Now, if you paid attention to Holgorsen's contract, you knew he was due a $75,000 retention bonus on Tuesday. So even if he was on his last breath, which he really wasn't, Lyons certainly would have acted before the bonus kicked in. Sources told Metro News that West Virginia assistant coaches knew Holgorsen was going to be retained for weeks, and they've been out recruiting non-stop ever since the K-State loss ended Saturday night. However, Holgorsen's contract is still set to expire in 2017, so I'm hearing that Mountaineers assistants are coping with a lot of questions from recruits and their parents about the staff's job security. That means Lyons might negotiate a rollover extension, though sources told us renegotiations have not yet begun. For the Gold and Blue Lunch Report, still in New York City, I'm Allan Taylor. Keep it tuned here to WVMetroNews.com for continuing coverage of West Virginia athletics.